Okay, go on up. Hey, welcome to Cedar Woods Farm. I've got my sidekick Carl here with me today, and we're going to make a Moonshine Cosmo today, which I'm super excited about and a little afraid. Have a friend that gave us some moonshine a while back, like a year ago, and it's been in the freezer. So we're gonna bust that open here in just a minute. Before we talk about that though, I wanted to talk to you about a little, not really scare, but a little, okay, get off the drinks, experience that I've had in the past just couple days. Okay, hold on. So a couple days ago I woke up with these red itchy bites, like from head to toe. And I was like, obviously the chickens have cooties, chicken mites, right? Because chickens get mites, they get lice, just all kinds of gross stuff like that. So, you know, I was just yucked out, as of course anybody would be, because I'm always up here. I'm always holding chickens, and I was just like, that's. I just thought we had an infestation. So, long story short, it wasn't that, and I was surprised because we keep the coop clean. You know, I've never seen the chickens scratching or anything like that. So I was surprised, but I just couldn't imagine what else it was. Finally, I put two and two together. I have been going out into this, it's not really a field, this area behind the barn, and getting clover for the chickens because they've eaten all their green stuff in here. And so, you know, just trying to be a good chicken mama. I'm so afraid somebody's going to poop in my shot glass. I would bring them grass. And what I wasn't thinking about is that late spring is the time for chiggers. That's when they come out and do their chigger joy, whatever. So I was getting chiggers. They were probably climbing, you know, by the hundreds. And then I would go back down to the house. You know, I always wash my hands after I've been up here. I take off my shoes before I go in the house. But I don't necessarily change clothes because sometimes I'm up here 8-10 times a day. So that's what it was. It wasn't that the chickens have cooties or mites. It was that I was getting them when I go out into the grass. So, but while I'm on the subject, in case anybody is new to chickens, or maybe you've had chickens for a while and you never had mites or thought about mites and wouldn't know what to do about mites, let me tell you what we did when we thought that there was a good possibility that we did. We cleaned out the coop. That's the number one thing. Just make sure your coop is completely raked out and new stuff put down, you know, as often as you can. It just depends on the size of the coop. It depends on how many chickens you have, but keep that clean. You also, want to have diatomaceous earth. It's just you get it in like a 50-pound bag at any feed store, Tractor Supply, Rural King. I don't think Lowe's has it, but any feed store has it. And you want to get food grade, and that way if they eat it and it gets into their system, it's fine. It won't hurt them. In fact, it's a good thing for them. Another thing that we did, just because we did think we had an infestation, 7 dust, just the same stuff that you would use in your garden or in your yard. It's the 5%, so the low level. we actually mixed that with the diatomaceous earth and sprinkled it everywhere, like, you know, where your chickens dust. That's a good place to put it, because that way they get it into their wings and it works through when they shake. We put it in their nesting boxes, on their roost, just everywhere that the chickens are. In fact, we dusted off all this furniture because we didn't know. Get off the tripod. Go on. Another way that you can check your actual chicken, and this is what I wanted Carl up here for. If you look under their wings, and you know, if your chickens are fairly tame, they'll let you do this. But if you look at the base of their feathers, you will actually see, you might not see the actual mites, but you will see debris, you might see dried up blood. If they have lice, you might actually see the lice, you might see the eggs. So it's very disgusting, but it's something you need to be aware of and be in front of before you get an infestation. Because your chickens can actually get anemic and die because of mites. Another place where they, well, I'm not going to do it because she's getting the cord all wrapped up, is around their vent area, their butt area. That is often where mites will set up house. It's, I guess, a moist, dark, gross place that they like, and so that's where they'll get and try to lay eggs. So that's another place to check on your chickens if you think that is a problem. Okay, so enough about mites and lice. I didn't know I was going to be talking that much about it today, but it has been a rough couple of days, not with chicken mites, but with the mites I got in the woods. They're also called chiggers, red mites, clover mites, berry mites. They have all kinds of names because they're everywhere, and I guess depending on, you know, where you live or whatever, you might call it something different, but it's in the arachnid family. Just one more reason to detest spiders. Okay. The Moonshine Cosmopolitan includes, and I'm making, okay, so a Cosmopolitan in my mind is vodka, just plain vodka, and cranberry juice, right? So a couple of little twists besides the moonshine, which that's a pretty big twist. But I'm going to use whipped cream vodka. That just sounds happy and fun to me. This is the cranberry juice, and I'm calling this the Moonshine Cosmo because we typically think of moonshine in mason jars, being in mason jars, and so everything, including the glass that I'm going to drink out of, they're all mason jars. The cranberry juice, this is low, or I think no sugar. Anyway, it's got five grams of sugar, 5 calories. That's what it is. So it's a lot less. I mean, I think a usual 8 ounces of cranberry juice has like 200 calories. So you don't want to drink your calories. I brought a maraschino cherry. You need a half a lime and a little piece of lime for garnish. And if you happen to have access any, a little moonshine. Okay? The moonshine is optional, certainly, for this. The sun's come back out. All right, so let's put all this in our shaker. Let's see. Do the cranberry juice. Don't you come over here, Ken. So I'm going to do 1 Frida, which is equivalent to 2 shots of cranberry juice. This is the cranberry juice, not the not the moonshine. All right, this is the whipped cream vodka, and I'm going to do 2 of that, which I think is pretty normal to do 1-to-1 with the Cosmo. Okay, now I'm going to put the juice of half a, that was not good, half a lime. Anytime your cocktail has fruit juice, milk, or dairy, cream, whatever, or eggs, which I generally don't want a cocktail that's got eggs in it, but apparently that's the thing. But anyway, those 3 you will want to shake. Anything else really you can stir. But, oh, I forgot the moonshine. But shaking is more fun. Let's see here. Doesn't have a whole lot of smell. Oh my gosh, that might be too much. And this is real deal moonshine, by the way. This is not just like, because you can go to a liquor store these days and you can buy jars or bottles of stuff that say moonshine. And actually, it's not regulated by the government. So, Ricardo. The labeling is not regulated, so they can call anything moonshine. They could put, I don't know, chicken juice and vodka and call it chicken moonshine. And that would be perfectly legal. They just have to tell you somewhere on the label what the actual alcohol is. But the real deal moonshine, the word comes from the fact that they used to call the smugglers and the illegal distillers moonrakers. So I always thought it was because they distilled at night just to have the cover of darkness. I thought that's why it was called moonshine, but it's because they called the people who did it moonrakers. So go figure. And I've got to pour a little bit of this out. I am going to put half a Frida. No, I'm not. I'm going to put 1/3 of Frida of that. I can always add more, what's it called? Cranberry juice. All right. So we're going to shake this. Shaking is better than stirring. In my humble opinion. I think nothing else gets your drink as cold. It's good exercise, and it's a fabulous way to exhibit your personal style and wit. Well, that is a cute little drink. Okay, I'm going to put my cherry and there must be a hawk. Here are the blue jays. And then I've got a little piece of lime. Okay, that's a very summery happy drink. And it is super dangerously good. That is really, really good. I think this cranberry juice, the fact that it's like the low sugar, I think that makes it even more sweet. Like when they use aspartame or sweet and low or whatever sugar substitute, is actually almost makes it too sweet. I really like that. This is great. I mean, I can hardly think of an instance. Well, I can too. I was going to say I can't think of a time that I would use regular vodka that I couldn't substitute it for the whipped cream. But sometimes you don't want that vanilla-y, cotton candy-y taste, you know. Sometimes you might be going for like a cucumber vodka or a pickle vodka like we did a couple of weeks ago, which was horrible. All right, well, a little real deal moonshine. Never hurt nobody. Something else about moonshine. It was made a lot of times right here in Appalachia, where I am. Partly because the road system, the road network here was not as advanced as in most other places. And so people didn't have to worry as much about the revenue officers, you know, hunting them down if they were distilling. So I thought that was kind of interesting and weird. Let's go. Oh, and I have something to tell you about first, and then we'll go look at the eggs. So, the little black pheasant, the melanistic mutant, the one that I talk about all the time, was even more beat up looking a couple days ago. And if she's out here, I'll show you what I'm talking about. But the cinnamon male pheasant has plucked all of the feathers out on her head and all the way down her neck into her back. And I know sometimes they do that. Chickens the same way. But we have a zero tolerance policy for any sort of domestic abuse in the hen house. So, I mean, I've had a hen die because of it, so I'm not doing it. So the cinnamon pheasant is back out in timeout. Last time it worked, I mean, he was good for months after we left him in there for a few days. It just kind of chilled his butt down. So I don't know. We're doing it one more time, just giving her a breather, and we'll see if if he comes when we do let him back in. If it's the same story, then I guess we'll find a new home for him. But I hate it because he's getting his feathers and he's going to be a beautiful bird, but we're not going to have that. So I'll show you him out here, and I'll also show you what I now call the Chigger Field, where I got all my bites. So let's go and when I was talking a minute ago about how they dust and that you want to put the diatomaceous earth and the 7 dust wherever your chickens dust, this is what they do. And if you've never seen this, you might think something's wrong with your chickens. Sometimes they just lay there like they're dead. Like, see, here's Stinky over here. But they just kind of roll around. And that's why you want to be sure that they have some kind of sand or dirt area where they can do that, because it is a natural thing. Okay, so here is, if you can see him, this is the little apparatus out here. Cage is the word I'm looking for. And there is little Mr. Bad Guy. I can't tell. Seems like the lighting is weird. Anyway, I mean, he's fine. He's got plenty of food and water. He just doesn't have a woman to harass. All right. So little broody mama is still in here. I checked earlier today. Listen to her. She has no eggs, but yet she has gone into broody mode, I guess you could say, which is just when a chicken decides that she wants to have babies, and so she just takes on the personality of that. And it looks like we have an egg in here. Cool. All right, let's see what we've got over here. Let's start over here. Oh, we got 3 in there. 3 in here. Oh, we've got some in the third one. It's weird how some days nobody will lay in that one. And then, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So this is the black pheasant that I was just talking about, the melanistic mutant. I don't think she's ever laid in the nesting box. In fact, the last time I taped, I had stepped on one of her eggs because she usually just lets them fly anywhere. Sometimes they're on top of the nesting boxes. Usually they're just on the ground. Shh, Carl. So that's pretty exciting. I love that. I love that they're comfortable enough that they would actually go into the nesting box. And I'm not sure where she is. You've seen her, but I was just gonna show you the damage inflicted, but she's hiding. So I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Chiggers and Moonshine. Yep, I guess that's it. I hope you're well and having a great day. Thanks for joining. Hey, Bob.